Hi everyone, we're just beginning a brand new international break. Can I get a collective groan, please? Thank you. However, the good news... I think I've just seen Dyson Maida running down my street. Just an example of the laughs we have here at 67 Hail Hail Towers. The good news about this international break is that it's the final one. Once we get this horrible fortnight over with no Celtic, we can move on. We're right into it until the glorious or bitter end, and it's going to be a very exciting last couple of months of the season. We just need to get through this wee period. We're beginning that today by taking a look at the Celtic Stars who are away on international duty, what they're going to be coming up against, what players are left back at Lennoxtown, and a couple of other bits of news, including a very interesting Ange interview that's going to be coming out later this week. Now, at the moment, we only know Celtic's next 3 fixtures, a couple against Rangers, one of those in the Cup, sandwiching a home game against 11th placed St Johnstone. Obviously, all eyes are now on Ibrox, where we go in 13 days' time. Prior to that, we do have a number of players away on international duty. Actually, more than we've had at any stage, I think, this season. A total of 12, 7 of them away playing full internationals and 5 playing youth matches. Scotland duo Callum McGregor and Greg Taylor were meant to be facing Ukraine in a crucial World Cup playoff. That match obviously isn't happening. They're instead going to take on Poland in a friendly at Hampden on Thursday, and then either Wales or Austria after that, whoever loses that playoff on Thursday, which is not at all complicated and typical of the SFA, who would never criticise, of course. Josip Juranovic's Croatia have already qualified for the World Cup. They're playing friendlies against Slovenia and Bulgaria. Karel Starfelt is back in the Sweden squad. They're fighting for World Cup qualification. They host the Czech Republic on Thursday, and then Poland in the final if they win that. Near Beaton's Israel are facing Germany and Romania. Georgios Giakoumakis' Greece, which is a mouthful, have Romania and Montenegro. All of those matches there for both Israel and Greece are friendlies, by the way. Reo Hatate's Japan have Australia on Thursday morning, our time, and then Vietnam in their final match. They're in a good position, Japan, but they've still got a little bit of work to do there. And in terms of Celtic's youth players, Matt O'Reilly and Liel Abada, who it seems pretty unfair that those guys are playing international youth football somehow. They're surprise inclusions at that level for Denmark and Israel, respectively. They're both playing qualifiers. I think Israel have deliberately brought Abada back down to 21 level. Obviously, he's been capped at senior level because they feel they really need to get the results here. Stephen Welsh, Johnny Kenny and Toby Oluwayemi also in competitive action for their countries at youth level. Now, you may have noticed a couple of absentees from that graphic that took me far too long to make. Earlier on, Dyson Maida and Tom Rogic, both players we believe have pulled out of their country's fixtures. Tom Rogic was a little bit of a surprise. Basically, I think the way we all found out was Celtic posted a very similar graphic earlier on and Rogic simply wasn't on it. So we can obviously read into that he's not going on international duty with Australia. He picked up an ankle knock at the weekend against Ross County. Ange at the time seemed to suggest it wasn't a really bad one.
How's Tom Rogic?
Yeah, it's not too bad. His ankle was a bit sore. I only saw him at half time briefly, and I didn't feel it was hopefully too bad for him. He's obviously got to go away with national team, so important member of the Australian team. So I haven't seen him after the game, but hopefully it's not too bad.
But he did say the same about Ideguchi against Alloa, which turned out to be one that made Ideguchi miss, I think, 2 or 3 weeks at least. So hopefully Rogic is in no danger for the game against Rangers and it's just a precaution. If that's the case, I'm more than happy for him not to be travelling over to Australia. Sorry, Aussies, by the way. I know you're going to be hating me for that comment. Just got my Celtic hat on there. In terms of Maida, we're told that he is out due to fitness/condition reasons. So that could mean quite a lot. We don't know any more than that. He didn't seem to have a knock really, although he was on the receiving end of quite a bad tackle as well by the same guy, I think, that took Rogic and was sent off. So hopefully Maida's alright. He seemed alright for the rest of the match that he played. Again, not a bad thing that he's not going away to the other side of the world. In theory, this is who should be left at Lennoxtown over the next weeks as we gear up for Ibrox. There's enough there to win at Ibrox as it is. Come on. I mean, look at the talent there of players left at Lennoxtown. Plenty of decent players, even though the likes of O'Reilly and Giakoumakis are now suddenly playing international football. It'll be interesting to see what kind of work Ange can get into these players over the next week or so. He certainly wasn't in any mood to down tools and take a break over the international break.
Obviously we'll lose a few of the national teams, which I think is not a bad thing, to get away from the routine club environment and refresh themselves. Others we'll give a little bit of a break to, but guys like Dave and a few others, we can put some really good work into them. Hopefully, range a bounce game in this sort of break where we know when everyone sort of comes back, that'll be it till the end of the year, no more breaks, and it'd be great to have sort of a fit and healthy squad for that.
Before I go on, I just need to waste all of your time apart from one person, Mark McQueen, who put a message on the live stream last night. I actually didn't see it at all. I was too busy chatting to my good mates John and Stevie. I said I was going to then read out that message on today's video. Riveting stuff, I know. I couldn't find that message, so apologies, Mark. This is the best you're getting. I'm only going to assume you were complimenting me, so thanks very much, mate. On the topic of channel admin, while we're on it, I'm going to do a Q&A at some stage over the international break, probably at the weekend when I'm on holiday, so you can enjoy that while I've got my feet up somewhere drinking Guinness. I want to get questions in nice and early for this Q&A, so if you're able to get them in on today's video, that'd be great. Just comment below. They can be on pretty much anything, Celtic related, personal life within reason. No idea why you'd want to know about my personal life. I probably won't be able to answer them all because we get loads of them, so make them good, and as I say, just comment below and we'll have a wee laugh at the weekend. Now, the lack of Celtic this week is difficult. We're well used to seeing Celtic, maybe not in recent weeks as much, but this international break malarkey is quite difficult, but it may be made slightly easier by what I'm going to call an epic Ange Postecoglou interview that's coming later this week. It's not us or anything, I should point that out straight away. We've not been given the chance to speak to Ange exclusively yet. It is the legends at Optus Sport, who our very own John writes a weekly article for. They had former Premier League goalkeeper Mark Schwarzer venture all the way up to Scotland to have a sit-down interview with Ange. This interview is 50 minutes long, which I'm almost certain is the longest interview Ange has done since he's come to Celtic, so there should be some very interesting bits there. In fact, scrub that word should. There are some very interesting bits there. We've actually seen the transcript, which is the kind of written form of this interview, and let's just say there are some very, very intriguing and interesting bits in there. I'm obviously forbidden from telling you until the interview airs on Wednesday, but what I can say is my favourite bit in the whole interview is when... So that's my favourite bit, and you honestly just can't afford to miss this interview when it comes out. I've basically told you all there anyway. So, but yeah, Optus Sport on Wednesday, we believe, should be a very good watch. We're hoping to have a few of our own interviews going out over the international break as well, maybe one sooner than you might think. So keep an eye out for that, just keeping things as fresh as possible. Also got Jackie McNamara on the channel on Thursday. We'll have Scott McDonald next week in the lead up to Rangers. It's just about kind of getting through this first week. We're going to try and keep things as fresh as possible because from like next Monday onwards we can have full focus on Rangers. So plenty more stuff to come on the channel. Elsewhere, I've got a video of loads of folk with their tops off on not that kind of video. I mean, it's Celtic Park on Saturday. I've not used it yet, so here we go. Excellent, amazing afternoon. I've spoken about this in every video I've done since the game, so I'm not going to do it again, but just a wee snapshot as to what we can expect if Celtic manage to win the league. A long way to go. The team certainly aren't going to be dialling it down at all over the next week or so in training while the international players are away. We're not doing it either in 67 Hail here. We're going to keep ramping it up because there's not long to go now. Thanks for watching, everyone. Speak to you tomorrow.